Hello, everyone. Bill Adams, Realtor, Coldwell Banker Realty. Hey, I'm excited to bring you Eric Deboer today. Eric is the owner of PMI Property Management. Eric, welcome.
Thank you, Bill.
Hey, thanks for being here
Of
today.
course. Thanks for having me.
PMI Property Management, what is that all about? Help us
Uh,
understand.
s- Pretty much exactly what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So we do property management of all different sorts and types. My office in particular, we focus on association management
Mm-hmm.
for HOAs, for single family residence communities, as well as condo associations. We also do residential property management. So we do um, the lease agreements for tenants and all of the behind the scenes work for maintenance and things like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's exciting
Yeah.
because me being a realtor, I have occasion to meet folks like you to help my
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah.
All
Realtors
right.
are great for us. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How did you get into the business?
It's a long story. The long and short of it is my wife have been entrepreneurs for a long time.
Hmm.
We've had several different businesses and we've wanted to be in real estate for a while now.
Uh-huh.
But having a career in sales, chasing listings, and driving people around, and having bought a house myself a few times, I know how it goes.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't really the side of real estate that I wanted to be into. So
Hmm.
we wanted to start a business again here, and we went with more of a franchise model, which is what Property Management Inc. is. And
Uh-huh.
so we own a branch of it here in Arizona, and figured we'd start with this and see where it leads us from there.
All right. So you're able to leverage your experience in being a realtor and getting into a different aspect or segment of real estate in property management, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, we were really wanting something to be um, like more of a service that we could provide
Hmm.
for people, and something more stable for us and our family too, which is a big part of it. So we have
Sure.
4 kids.
Wow.
We're busy people,
Uh-huh.
so 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon comes and school gets out and got little league to get to, gymnastics to get to, dance to get to, cheer to get to. Um, just trying to provide for the family like everybody else. And so
Hmm.
property management is a good business for us because it allows us to have kind of that stability without having to worry about, like you probably know, trying
Uh-huh.
to stay top of mind with real estate when everybody knows 8, 10, 12 real estate agents.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, having 4 kids, my daughter has 4 teenagers,
Yeah.
so it's bless her soul. I don't know
Yeah.
how she does it,
I,
and likewise, I don't know how you do it. But
yeah. Well, we're not to the teenager stage yet, but it's quickly approaching.
yeah, kids are made for young people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, during your time, with your property management business, there must have been some memorable experiences. Anything in particular stand out you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think our most memorable experience so far would be probably that first win. So
Mm-hmm.
you're starting a new venture. You got my real estate license. You start to do business. You're getting things rolling, doing advertising. We do a lot of community events and networking things to try to get to know some folks in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And the wheels start turning, and then phone starts ringing, and you start doing the little stuff like answering questions and sending out bids and proposals and really starting to understand your craft that you're
Uh-huh.
doing. But that first win of being able to sign on our first HOA community that we did was probably the most memorable experience of everything really starting to come to fruition. And it's also kind of that moment of like, oh, I caught my tail. And now
Now what do I
what
do?
do I do with it? Because you go to real estate school, and I'm a certified manager of community associations. So
Mhm.
community managers have a like a national group, kind of like realtors do.
Mhm.
And so there's ethics courses to go to and education to sit through to learn to how to properly manage communities. And you do all the legwork, and you feel like you're book smart, and then
Uh-huh.
you got to actually start doing it. And
Yeah.
so it's been a fun time, and that's probably for a while will probably be the most memorable experience.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. The first victory. That's
Yeah.
great. Hmm.
Hmm.
What are the challenges that you face?
Um, our biggest challenge right now, since our office primarily focuses on HOA management and the condo association management, is just trying to get in touch with the board members. You know, there's a lot of lack of transparency in the space.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a need for good community managers in Arizona. I lived here my whole life. I've been part of HOAs for my whole life,
Yeah.
growing up as a kid, and so I know what it's like to live in them, and they have a bad stigma to them. You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
why you, as a realtor, when every time you have a property that doesn't have an HOA, you have that special sign that says no HOA. You know, like it's a good thing
Uh-huh.
because of the bad rap that they get. And I don't think it has to be that way. You know, I
Uh-huh.
think there's a lot of, like I said, bad communication between what does it even mean to be in an HOA. You know, until I started doing this and getting into property management and working with PMI, I didn't even really have a great understanding of the fact that there were behind the scenes managers that, you know, run the HOA. You know, I just
Mm-hmm.
thought it was like your neighbors tattling on you, you know, that you were doing something you weren't
Yeah.
supposed to do, or
Uh-huh.
somebody in the neighborhood didn't like you, or something like that, you know. And so sometimes the HOA could be the board, and sometimes the HOA could mean your management company, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not the same thing. And getting in touch with them and showing them that there is a better way, and that being an HOA doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're just here to try to protect the investment of what most people will be is their largest investment that they make
Sure.
probably their whole life. And
Mm-hmm.
if, you know, if that were to fall apart because of bad management, especially if you live in like a condo where you're not responsible for the exterior of the home or the foundation or something like that, it can be hard to sell your property. And then what do?
Yeah.
You know, HOAs start to sound really nice when, you know, you try to get your money back out of something that you've put into for 20
Mm-hmm.
years.
Yeah. All right. So, what are your clients? What kind of feedback do you get from your clients? What are they saying about your?
Um, I think our feedback so far has been positive. You know, like I said, we've owned several businesses before, and so we're trying to run this the same way we've run everything before. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, my kind of philosophy with that is that the buck stops with me. You know, so we're a young company still, and we're trying to grow. And uh, specifically in the East Valley is where we live, and we've lived here in Queen Creek for 13 years, and so I really want to kind of plant our flag here and try to grow the company here.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like I said, my philosophy is the buck stops with me. So as we start to hire on more managers and people who answer the phones and run payments and do inspections and all that sort of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if something needs to get done that we said that gets done, and someone's unable to do it, you know, then ultimately it'll be me or my wife that says, you know,
Yeah.
the buck stops here, and if we said it's going to get done, then it needs to get done, and
Mm-hmm.
even if that means it's going to be a late night.
Yep. Yep.
And so I think so far with our transparency and our systems we have in place, that's been probably the best feedback is, you know, knowing someone's going to return your call,
Mm-hmm.
get back to you with an answer, and that you're not just screaming into the abyss,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to pull your hair out, and then, you know, no one ever calls you back. You know, we're reliable.
Mm-hmm.
We have accurate accounting, and we provide reports um, on a monthly basis, and it's all available for every homeowner to see.
Mm-hmm.
Where some communities I've gone in and they're still waiting on financials from, you know, 3 months
Yeah.
ago, or maybe they haven't gotten their taxes filed yet, or something like that. So.
Yeah. Well, your attitude of the buck stops with you. That speaks volumes, particularly when you're getting these calls, because if I'm wrong, correct me, but my guess is, they're people that are having real problems that need answers and not just, being able to leave a message and hope that it gets returned.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
taking ownership is, very important for the success of your business and the happiness of your clients.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not just them. Sometimes it's just the board members too. Like
Mhm.
the homeowners. Obviously, they could be people with problems, whether it's a maintenance issue that we need to take care of, especially in Arizona as the summer's approaching now. Like that's a big deal here.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just the board that have, you know, maybe the community's gone through a tough time, and sometimes HOA boards will just kind of implode. People quit and
Mhm.
walk off because things can get contentious and awkward and
Uh-huh.
hard, and they're just volunteers, you
Yeah.
know, trying to do their best for their community.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes, at least for us, I have conversations with these board members, and I do feel bad. Like sometimes people just need help, and if you have a situation like that where maybe everybody's new and
Hmm.
they don't know what they're doing, you're just kind of like the blind leading the blind at that at that point,
Yeah.
And so we can step in and try to provide some structure, and you know maybe not fix every problem all at once, but start with the big ticket items and try to turn things around for a community, and
Yeah.
make it a better place to live.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what motivates Eric?
Uh, I mean, it's cheesy and corny of an answer as it might be. My family has been the biggest driving force for me,
Hmm.
for everything that we've done. So, like I said, with 4 kids, um, and I think that really trickles down to the people that we do business with too. So,
Hmm.
we are part of a franchise model. We're a nationwide company, and PMI is pretty big, and sometimes uh, communities will have bad interactions with big companies like that because they
Uh-huh.
feel like they're just a small cog in a big wheel.
Hmm.
But what's unique about our system, I think, as a franchise model, is we have a lot of national power behind us from that brand. I mean, we
Hmm.
manage over 1,300 communities across the nation and more than $5 billion in real estate assets. And so we have a lot of systems in place. There's a lot of good structure from the corporate side. But at the end of the day, I'm just a local business owner here in
Yeah.
Queen Creek.
Hmm.
I've bought into the model, and I think it's a good model. Um, but at the end of the day, what motivates me is providing the service that we say we're going to provide to our customers. Because at the end of the day, that's how I feed my family.
Hmm. Yeah.
And my intention is to bring on as many communities as I can in the East Valley and have them for hopefully decades to come.
Hmm. All right. Okay, so my question then, you and your wife working in the business, growing the business, 4 kids.
Yeah.
So, what do you do for Eric? What do you do for
Yeah.
fun? Tell me about that part.
Um, Lots of things. I have lots of hobbies. I grew up playing golf with my dad, probably since I was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old, going to the driving range with him and going on the course. I remember I would tee off with him, and then I would tee off again on the fairway because I was too small. So I would just use my driver all the time. But I played golf in high school, so it's been a big part of my life for a long time, and other sports as well. I'm a part of a dad's baseball league here in the East Valley as well.
Uh-huh.
Big video gamer, and so now that my boys are getting older, it's been fun to kind of do that with them and just participating in my kids' lives too. I kind of just
Mhm.
live vicariously through them. I got into baseball because my son wanted to play baseball, and that was never something I did growing up. I did golf and hockey,
Uh-huh.
um, and so just tried learning the sport with him, and so I started playing it recreationally too. But all the other days, I'm just the dad in the stands and uh, just having a good time and watching them grow up and play. And my son is a gymnast, and it's really fun to watch him participate in his events. He just got third in state this year
Oh, wow.
for his
Congratulations.
age group. Thank you. That was fun. It was fun to be there. Um, and then my girls are still young, but it's fun to go to their uh, dance recitals. And my older daughter got into cheer not that long ago, and
Hmm.
so it's just happy parent moments.
Yeah. All right. Well, besides being very busy, having a great family, it sounds like you have a great balance between, work and family life and relaxation. I really appreciate you
Yeah.
taking time with us today.
Thank you very much. I
Oh,
appreciate the
thank you,
opportunity.
Eric.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. If you have any questions, if you're with an HOA, you have questions about association that Eric could help answer for you, or individual homeowner in need of a property manager, please reach out to Eric. I'm sure he'll be very happy to help you. This is Bill Adams, Realtor, Coldwell Banker Realty. Thank you.